call them in, and then, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
It's not necessarily, I guess, about the image and who,
exactly.
the name behind.
It has nothing like that. And, like, we weren't going to announce the whole Goodbye Cruel World thing forever, and until the record was out, and then people could just make it up themselves. We were even going to wear, like, masks and promo pictures and stuff like that.
Oh, that's
like,
rad.
But it's like, we talked about it, and it's whatever. Start talking about it. And then that way it'll happen, you know what I mean? Where it's hard because he's in England and then we're over here, so.
Absolutely, because I remember watching to talk about, like, I guess new bands and side projects, that sort of thing. I remember watching an interview, and it said that you had about 5 days off from tour, and you didn't really know what to do yourself, and so you started a new band that you sung for.
Chopper, yeah.
Yeah, that's so
yeah.
rad.
I'm still doing that too, so like, that's gonna start. We start playing shows in January with Chopper because we're gonna be off, so.
And,
yeah.
And they're from London, or am I mistaken?
No. Chopper. No. The other thing, Frank from Gallows lives in London.
Oh, okay.
Or in England, so like we're gonna. It's basically like us recording here and sending him the songs and then him singing on it, and that's whatever. But Chopper is like all based in Buffalo, and it's just basically like all my friends are in bands from Buffalo, so they tour all the time. I never get to see them, so we started a band so we could see each other more.
Absolutely.
That was basically it. That's where Chopper came from, and I sing in it, and I got 2 dudes that I literally like. One dude's like my best friend, the other dude's a dude I grew up with since I was a little kid, so he's kind of my best friend, and it's gonna be rad. The dude that the drummer was in my first band ever. It was like crazy, like ages ago, 1993 or something like that. We were playing together, so it's gonna be a good time.
Absolutely.
It'll be fun.
And I remember in the same interview you were talking a little bit about tattoos, and I guess your style and approach of choosing which tattoos that you want. And I think that you said that it's very much an on-the-spot decision.
Very on the spot.
And so you had mentioned that you've gotten new hand tattoos, and so can you tell me a little bit about those, and I guess where they came from?
Well, I got my last name tattooed on my knuckles, and then established 1977. I got basically my mom, and then death on one. Eat eye. I literally like, it's always like I go in there and I'll be like, oh fuck, that's rad. Like let's do something like that, and then a dude will draw it up. I'm getting a Vincent Price tattoo.
Seriously?
Coming up, like where it's gonna be pretty rad.
Oh, sweet, where are you getting that?
I don't know yet. I don't know where in my body I'll get it, but I'll find a spot for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I almost got my head tattooed. Like,
seriously?
When I was in Texas. It was.
It sounds like there's a lot that went on there.
It was a bad idea. But it hopefully it ended good. I didn't get it, so. Yeah. Yeah, it was just like my whole time in Texas was awesome. I was hanging out with friends and stuff, but I just kind of had a breakdown. I didn't know what to do, and it all came from me. I turned 31 in December, and I really didn't know what to. You know what I mean? Like, I've been touring since I was 15. I don't know how to do anything else, and like the one skill that I did have got taken over by computers. So like, I have to learn a computer program if I want to like get back into drafting. I was a drafter, and like, there's no.
What do you mean by drafting?
Drafting as in like drawing blueprints and stuff like that.
Cool.
That's what I did like before, and you can do it all on a computer now. So like, there's no need for a person to pencil a draft, a blueprint.
And so I guess when you kind of like realized that, and how did you take the approach, and how did you get out of it?
Just didn't go home, because if I was at home, man, it would have been worse. It would have been way worse. I would have probably had face tattoos. And I just gave up. That was basically it. And not that I was gonna get my hands tattooed eventually, anyways. But I just wasn't ready for it. And it was just really weird. It was like kind of like, oh fuck, like, if the band broke up, what the fuck would I do? You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to just tour, and you have to start all over, and starting all over just blows.
I imagine so.
Because I mean, you're already in a band. Like, I've been in this band for 12 years. You know what I mean? Like, me and Jordan and Rat have been playing together for 12 years, and.
When I imagine you have such a body of work, and like.
That's what I mean. You're expected. You're expected to do that. You know what I mean? It's just like, fuck, man. Like, if you don't do anything like every time I die, then people are just gonna be like, oh, it's just another this band. You know what I mean? Where. Yeah.
I imagine, but I imagine that's the thing, is that
it's weird
when you are like a band who has influenced quite a few other bands.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a very strange pressure, I guess, to have on yourself.
Yeah. No, it is.
And like, I guess expectations that other people implement onto you.
Yeah.
Which might not necessarily reflect how you feel.
Yeah. That's like literally like everything, and I kind of like I said, it wasn't. I don't know what kind of like breakdown it even was, but it was just weird, man. I wouldn't sleep, and And then like these weird ideas would come to my head, and I'd be like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. All right.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I'm in London, hanging out with some people, and that was it.
The funny thing though is at the same time is that sounds so spontaneous and adventurous.
No, it
and
was
so
awesome.
Much fun.
No, it was great. Believe me, man. Like it was awesome, and it all came about. I was like, oh, I have 3 months off. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna literally soak up every second of it, and that's
great.
That was it. To just take my mind off everything, and I guess you kind of like at that point in time when you get to that point where you're like, fuck, man. Like, what am I gonna do? You have to kind of like reinvent and like go on re-adventures, like adventures that you'd already been on, to like give yourself that like, oh yeah, I'm stoked, you know what I mean, again. Because I was like down and out. I was just like, fuck it, I don't want to play guitar. If this is it, I'm done. Like, I don't even want to be in a band anymore, like whatever. And then it was just like, oh fuck, well, I'm in London, I get to hang out, I get to see things. This is gonna be awesome.
I guess you have to learn to reappreciate everything.
Exactly, that's exactly it.
Perfect.
And then like, you know, it made me stoked again. So
that's great. Well, I'm so glad that you're here today.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I mean, it was never like a bad situation. It was never like I was going to hurt myself or anything. It was just basically like, fuck, like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it just sucks. But whatever. It was like basically either stay who I am or grow up. Those are my two options. And I was like, all right, fuck it, man. I'm already 31 and I've already done this for 15 years, 16 years. Keep going.
Absolutely, and there's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, I'm not ashamed. I was never ashamed. It was basically like, okay, if this all ended tomorrow, what the fuck would I do? You know what I mean? And like, I didn't have an answer. That's like the scariest thing ever, when you just don't have an answer for something like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I imagine, like, since you're here today, things have worked out for the best.
No, it was awesome. Like I said, re-adventure, man.
Absolutely.
And I always try to tell people that too, man. I have friends that are in bands, and it's like, oh man, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go to school, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, dude, just don't hang out with the band. Go somewhere. Hang out with a bum. Like, you know what I mean? Like, soak it up and fucking, like, ask questions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, talk to people and, like, relearn everything. You know, because, like, right now you're, you know, a 20-year-old kid playing in a band and you're already, like, over it. Like, that's terrible. You know what I mean? Like, every 20-year-old kid should want to play guitar in a band. You know what I mean? Like, don't go to college yet. Like, you have your whole life to go to college, you know? So, that was basically it. And now, like, the cool part is, like, the two dudes that I'm talking about in that sentence, like, one dude's going to, like, Harley school, which is going to be awesome, to become, like, a Harley mechanic. It's going to be great. The bass player at Chopper. And then the other guy, he quit the band that he was in, and he's thinking about going back to school, so, yeah. But
I guess you have to really, for each and every individual, reevaluate where you want to be.
Exactly.
And what do you want to,
exactly.
Like, how you want to, guess, see yourself in the mirror. Not in, like, a physical sense or literal sense.
Exactly. That's exactly it, man. You have to gut check yourself. As lame as that sounds, but
you know, I think everyone goes through that at one point.
Yeah. It's just weird, like I said, man. Like I never had the opportunity to like grow up like that. Like when I was 19, 20 years old, I was tour managing a band, and I was doing other shit. I never even thought about college. You know what I mean? And then
I guess you never even had a chance to think about it.
Exactly. I'm 31 years old, and it's like that all hit me then. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? So, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, because as you said, you have your whole life to go and take some classes, and
exactly.
I guess if you ever want to, if you have interest in certain skills that you want to acquire, you can do it. There's
exactly. You just have to. I mean, I guess you just have to. I don't know. You just have to. You really have to just put your foot forward and do it. You know what I mean? So.
Do what you want to do.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and I like to play guitar.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to quickly ask about the title of The Big Dirty. And because in Canada, it's a reference to the motion picture of our beloved Trailer Park Boys. And
That's what it is.
It is?
That's what it's from.
That's what it's from. It's from Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles?
Yeah.
Because I heard different stories about it, and
there was always like different stories, but that's where the idea initially came from.
That's awesome.
It was awesome, yeah. We're like huge fans, like huge Trailer Park fans. So.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
And did you ever get to meet the guys?
Never. There was one opportunity, and some scumbag political stuff came involved, like behind the scenes.